I'll write an interesting and engaging 800-word short story for part 1, first contact in third-person style, using simple English and Korean names as requested. The stars looked different from the observation deck of the UES Dauntless. Captain E.O. Jiho Park stood with his hands behind his back, watching the distant lights. He had been in space for 15 years, but the beauty of the cosmos still amazed him. "Captain, we have a situation," said First Officer Sumin Lee, entering the deck with a worried look on her face. Jiho turned around. "What is it, Sumin?" "Our long-range scanners have picked up something at the edge of the solar system. Something big." Jiho followed her to the bridge where the crew worked at their stations with focused energy. The main screen showed a cluster of red dots moving slowly toward Earth. "How many ships are we looking at?" Jiho asked. Science Officer Sun Hai-yoon looked up from her console. "Over 300 vessels, Captain. None match any known human designs." The bridge fell silent. Humanity had never encountered alien life before. They had found microbes on Mars and simple plants on Europa, but nothing intelligent, nothing that could build spaceships. "Send a message to Earth Command," Jiho ordered. "Tell them we have possible first contact." Within hours, the news spread across Earth and its colonies on the Moon and Mars. The alien fleet moved closer, and panic started to grow. The United Earth government called an emergency meeting. Jiho and his senior officers attended via video, link from the Dauntless, which was stationed near Jupiter's orbit. "These aliens have not responded to any of our greeting messages," said Defense Minister Choi. "We must assume they are hostile." "We can't jump to conclusions," argued Jiho. "There could be communication problems. Their technology might work differently." As they debated, a loud beep interrupted them. All communication screens across Earth showed the same image: a tall, thin creature with gray skin and 4 eyes. "People of Earth," the alien said in perfect English. "We are the Ex-Cathari. Your planet now belongs to us. Surrender or be destroyed. You have 24 hours to decide." The message ended. The room erupted in chaos. "We need to evacuate as many people as possible," someone shouted. "To where?" "They can find us anywhere in the system." Jiho stood up. "The Dauntless has new technology that hasn't been announced yet. Project Phoenix might give us a chance." Defense Minister Choi frowned. "Project Phoenix is not ready. The energy core is unstable. It's our only option," Jiho insisted. "Let me take the Dauntless to meet them. 1 ship, 1 crew. If we fail, Earth can still try to negotiate." After heated debate, they agreed. The Dauntless would approach the alien armada alone. Chief Engineer Ha-Yoon Kim came to Jiho's quarters that night. "The Phoenix system is online, Captain, but I must warn you, we've never tested it in combat." "What exactly can it do, Ha-Yoon?" Jiho asked. She pulled up a hologram showing the ship's new energy core. "It can absorb energy from attacks and redirect it. But the real breakthrough is the neural link. Human brainwaves somehow stabilize the quantum field. We don't fully understand why." Jiho nodded. "Will it be enough against 300 ships?" Ha-Yoon's face was serious. "I don't know, but it's better than nothing." The next morning, the Dauntless moved toward the alien fleet. The crew was quiet, each person lost in their thoughts. "Captain, we're being scanned," reported Tactical Officer Min-ho Kang. "Let them look," Jiho said calmly. "Open a channel when we're in range." On the main screen, the alien with 4 eyes appeared again. "A single ship, is this Earth's champion? I am Captain Jiho Park of the United Earth ship Dauntless. We come in peace and wish to discuss alternatives to conflict." The alien made a sound like laughing. "I am High Commander Vexitul. There is nothing to discuss. Your species is primitive. Your technology is weak. We have conquered 17 worlds before yours." Jiho kept his face neutral. "Then one more conversation won't hurt. We have much to offer through peaceful exchange." "You have nothing we want except your planet," Vexitul replied. "Our scans show your ship is no threat to us." "Appearances can be deceiving," Jiho said. "We would rather be friends, but we will defend our home if necessary." Vextool made the laughing sound again. Very well. You have chosen to be the first to die. The screen went dark. They're powering weapons, Minho reported, his voice steady despite the danger. Jiho took a deep breath. All hands battle stations. Ha-Yun, activate Project Phoenix. Ha-Yun's fingers flew over her console. Phoenix coming online, neural links activating. Jiho felt a strange tingling in his mind as the system connected to him and the crew. The ship seemed to become an extension of his body. 3 alien destroyers approaching, Minho announced. They're firing. Bright beams of energy shot toward the Dauntless. Instead of exploding on impact, the energy seemed to flow around the hull, absorbed by the Phoenix system. Power levels rising, Ha-Yun called out. The system is working. Jiho smiled for the first time that day. Let's show them what one human ship can do. The energy beams from the alien ships swirled around the Dauntless like angry snakes, but did not harm the hull. The bridge crew watched in amazement as the Phoenix system absorbed the attack. Power levels at 120% and rising, reported Ha-Yun, her eyes wide with excitement. The system is converting their weapon energy faster than we expected. Captain Jiho gripped his chair tightly. He could feel the ship through the neural link, almost like it was part of his body. Status of the alien vessels? They're confused, said Communications Officer Tae-Wan, who monitored the alien transmissions. They're asking each other why. We haven't been destroyed. Jiho smiled. Let's give them something to really wonder about. Minho, target the smallest ship with a low-power pulse. Minho nodded and touched his console. The Dauntless hummed as it released a fraction of the stored energy. A blue beam shot out, hitting one of the alien ships. The vessel didn't explode, but its lights flickered and it began to drift. Direct hit. Their power systems are offline, Minho announced. The other alien ships immediately backed away. On the main screen, High Commander Vextool appeared again, his 4 eyes narrowed in anger. What technology is this? He demanded. Our scans showed no such weapons. As I said, appearances can be deceiving, Jiho replied calmly. We would still prefer peaceful talks. Vextool hissed. This changes nothing. You disabled 1 small ship. We have hundreds more. The screen went dark again. They're calling in reinforcements, Tae-Wan warned. 6 larger ships are moving toward us. Jiho turned to Ha-Yun. How much more energy can the Phoenix system handle? She looked worried. In theory, quite a lot. But the neural link is putting strain on the crew. Can you feel it? Jiho realized she was right. His head had begun to hurt, and he noticed other crew members, rubbing their temples or blinking rapidly. All crew rotate neural link duties, he ordered. No one stays connected for more than 15 minutes. The 6 alien ships surrounded the Dauntless and fired simultaneously. The Phoenix system glowed bright as it absorbed the massive energy. Attack! Power levels now at 300%, Ha-Yun shouted. The system is stable, but our bodies can't handle much more of this neural connection. Jiho made a quick decision. Release energy in a wide dispersal pattern. Target their weapon systems only. The Dauntless released a wave of blue energy that spread outward like ripples in a pond. When it touched the alien ships, their weapon ports sparked and went dark. All 6 ships have lost weapons capability, Minho reported with a smile. Get us out of here, Jiho ordered. Maximum speed toward Saturn. The Dauntless shot away from the disabled alien ships. As they traveled, Medical Officer Young Mi Jiang checked the crew for neural link effects. Everyone is showing signs of mental fatigue, she told Jiho in his quarters. Nothing permanent, but we need rest before using Phoenix again. Jiho nodded, massaging his throbbing head. We bought some time, but they'll come after us with everything they have now. On the main X-Cathari command ship, High Commander Vextool raged at his officers. How did one primitive human vessel disable 7 of our ships? He shouted. Science Director Mechnar studied the scan results. The human ship somehow absorbed our energy weapons and redirected them. But that's not the most concerning part. What is? Vextool demanded. Our deep scans detected unusual brain activity in the humans when they used this technology. Their minds were somehow connected to their ship's systems. We've never seen anything like it. Vexatul walked to the viewing window and stared at the distant stars. Can we replicate this technology? Not without understanding how human brains interact with it. None of our previous conquered species could do this. The humans are different. Back on the Dauntless, Jiho called an emergency meeting with his senior officers. We've shown them we can fight, but they still outnumber us hundreds to one, he said. We need a new strategy. Taewon spoke up. While monitoring their communications, I found something interesting. The Exkithari have myths about beings they call void dancers, creatures who could appear and disappear at will and manipulate energy. Are they afraid of these myths? Asked Jiho. Very afraid. Their ancient texts warn that the void dancers will return someday to punish the wicked. A slow smile spread across Jiho's face. Then maybe it's time for the void dancers to make an appearance. Ha-un. Is there a way to make Phoenix do more than just absorb and release energy? Ha-un thought, for a moment. With the neural link, we might be able to create energy patterns, maybe even change how the ship appears on their sensors. Good, said Jiho, because we're about to give the Exkithari the scare of their lives. The Dauntless hid within Saturn's rings using the countless ice particles to mask its presence. The crew worked around the clock to implement their daring plan. The neural link modifications are ready, Ha-un announced. If we concentrate together, we can create energy patterns that will appear as ghostly images on their sensors. Jiho nodded. And the communication hack? Taewon looked up from his station. Ready, Captain. I can broadcast on their internal frequencies now. They'll hear voices without knowing where they're coming from. Good. Jiho turned to the rest of his senior staff. The Exkithari believe in void dancers, beings who can move between spaces and manipulate reality. We're going to become their nightmare. Security Chief Sujin Beck raised her hand. I've analyzed their cultural database. Their ancient texts describe the void dancers as having eyes that see through time and voices that echo in the mind. Perfect, said Jiho. Let's use that. The alien armada approached Saturn cautiously. High Commander Vextul had ordered 50 ships to find and destroy the human vessel. Spread out and scan every section of the rings, he commanded. That ship cannot hide forever. His officers obeyed, but they seemed nervous. Stories had already spread through the fleet about the strange human technology. Suddenly, one of the Exkithari captains reported in, his voice shaking. Commander, we detected something strange, but it vanished before we could lock on. What did you see? Vextul demanded. A ship, but larger than before, and it seemed to glow with blue light. Vextul growled. Don't be foolish. Find it and destroy it. On the Dauntless, Jiho and his crew connected to the Phoenix system. Their minds joined together, controlling the energy field around the ship. Now, Jiho whispered. The Dauntless emerged from the rings, but not as a normal ship. The Phoenix system projected an energy field that made it appear 3 times larger, surrounded by swirling blue patterns that resembled human faces. Broadcast the message, Jiho ordered. Throughout the alien fleet, commanders and crew heard a chorus of human voices speaking directly into their minds. Those who bring war shall meet the void. Those who threaten the innocent shall know fear. 3 alien ships immediately turned and fled. The others opened fire, but their weapons' energy only made the Dauntless glow brighter. Keep concentrating, Ha-un urged as sweat dripped down her face. The neural link is holding. The Dauntless vanished from the alien sensors, only to reappear behind their formation. It fired precise energy beams that disabled the engines of 5 more ships. Then it disappeared again. Where did they go? Vexatul shouted at his sensor. Operators. Unknown, Commander. They're not anywhere in our scan range. The Dauntless had only moved to the other side of Saturn, but the Phoenix system masked their presence completely. Taewon continued broadcasting eerie messages on the alien frequencies, making them seem to come from empty space. The void has judged you. The dancers have returned. On one alien ship, a crew member screamed and pointed at his personal screen. Commander, look. A human face appeared on every screen throughout the ship, its eyes glowing blue. It spoke in perfect Exkithari language. Leave the system or join the endless dance between stars. The ship's commander ordered an immediate retreat, ignoring Vex Tool's angry commands to stay in formation. Inside the Dauntless, the strain was showing. Blood trickled from Taewan's nose as he maintained the communication hack. Ha-Eun's hands trembled as she regulated the energy flow. "We can't keep this up much longer," warned young Mi, checking the crew's vital signs. "The neural link is putting too much stress on their brains." Jiho felt the pressure building in his own mind like a vice squeezing his thoughts. "Just a little longer. We need to break their confidence completely." The Dauntless reappeared directly, in front of Vextol's command ship. This time, the energy field made it look like a massive blue hand reaching out to grab them. "Fire everything!" Vextol screamed. His ship unleashed its full arsenal. The Dauntless absorbed it all, growing brighter and brighter until it hurt to look at it directly. Then it released the energy in a controlled wave that passed through the command ship, shorting out every system but life support. In the sudden darkness of his bridge, Vextool heard a single human voice. "This is your only warning. Earth is protected." The Dauntless vanished once more, leaving fear and chaos in its wake. One by one, ships began breaking formation, retreating to safer distances. Jiho collapsed in his chair as the neural link disengaged. "Status report," he mumbled through his exhaustion. Minho managed a weak smile. 15 enemy ships disabled, at least 20 more retreating. The rest are holding position but not advancing. "Good," Jiho whispered before young Mi pressed a hypo spray against his neck. "Rest now, Captain," she said gently. "You've earned it." As Jiho drifted into unconsciousness, he knew the battle wasn't over. But they had planted the seeds of fear in an enemy that had never known defeat. And fear sometimes was the most powerful weapon of all. Jiho woke up in the medical bay 12 hours later. His head still ached, but the fog had cleared from his mind. Young Mi helped him sit up. "How's the crew?" he asked immediately. "Everyone's recovering," she replied. The neural link strain was significant but not permanent. Jiho nodded. "And the ex-Cathari?" "They've regrouped," said First Officer Sumin, entering the medical bay. "Vexitol has gathered his remaining ships. Almost 100 vessels are now positioned at the edge of Saturn's rings. They seem determined to finish us." Jiho slowly stood up. "They're angry. We humiliated them. Now they want revenge more than conquest." In the command ship of the ex-Cathari fleet, Vex Tool addressed his officers with cold fury. "This human deception ends today," he hissed. "They are not void dancers. They are using technology and tricks to frighten us. We will use overwhelming force and destroy them completely." One officer dared to speak up. "Commander, what if their powers are real? The ancient texts warn." "Silence!" Vex Tool struck the officer across the face. "I will hear no more of these superstitions. We attack in formation Alpha 6. No ship breaks rank for any reason." On the bridge of the Dauntless, Jiho studied the tactical display showing the massive alien formation. "They've learned," he said. "They're staying close together so we can't pick them off one by one." Minho pointed to the screen. "Their formation is strongest in the front, but if we could somehow get behind them." "Through the rings," Jiho said suddenly. "The ice particles disrupt their sensors. If we stay within the densest part of the rings, we might circle around undetected." Ha-Eun spoke up. "Captain, I've been working on something new with the Phoenix system. If we all focus together through the neural link, we might be able to create multiple energy images of the Dauntless." "Decoys?" Jiho asked. "Yes. Not solid, but they would appear on sensors as perfect copies of our ship." Jiho considered the idea. The strain on the crew would be immense. "We've prepared for that," Young Mi said. "I've developed a neural stabilizer. It won't prevent the strain completely, but it will buy us more time." Jiho nodded. "Let's do it. All hands to battle stations." The Dauntless powered up and plunged into the thickest part of Saturn's rings. Ice particles bounced off the shields as the ship maneuvered through the cosmic debris. "Ex-Cathari ships are entering the rings," Minho reported. "They're spreading, out to find us." "Perfect," said Jiho. Initiate neural link, everyone focus. The crew connected their minds to the Phoenix system once more. This time the strain felt different, still strong, but more controlled. Creating energy projections now, Haun said, her voice strained with concentration. Outside the ship, 5 glowing blue copies of the Dauntless appeared, each identical to the original. Jiho directed them to separate paths through the rings. Alien, ships are detecting the decoys, Taewan reported. They're splitting their forces to pursue. Vextool watched in frustration as his carefully planned formation broke apart, with groups of ships chasing after each human vessel. Stay together, he ordered, but it was too late. His commanders were too eager to claim the honor of destroying the human ship. As the alien fleet scattered, the real Dauntless circled around behind them. Jiho's plan was working. Target their rear ships, he ordered. Quick strikes, then move on. The Dauntless emerged from the rings just long enough to disable the engines on 3 alien vessels before disappearing again. The decoys mimicked this attack pattern, creating chaos as the Xkathari couldn't determine which ship was real. Their formation is completely broken, Minho said with satisfaction. Jiho felt sweat pouring down his face as he maintained his connection to the Phoenix system. Now for the final act. Hayun, can we create something bigger than decoy ships? She nodded, her face pale with effort. What do you have in mind? A human face, enormous. I want every alien ship to see it. The crew focused their thoughts together. Above Saturn's rings, a massive blue energy field took shape. A human face kilometers wide, its eyes seeming to stare directly at the Xkathari fleet. Broadcast on all their frequencies, Jiho ordered Taiwan. His voice, amplified and deepened, echoed through every alien ship. Your weapons cannot harm us. Your ships cannot catch us. Leave our system now, or none of you will return home. On Vextool's command ship, screens flickered and systems failed as fear spread through the crew. 3 more ships broke away and fled at maximum speed. Vextool watched helplessly as his grand Armada, which had conquered so many worlds, fell apart in the face of a single human vessel and its impossible technology. We are not defeated, he insisted, even as more ships retreated around him. But when the giant human face smiled at him across the void of space, even Vextool felt the cold touch of terror for the first time in his life. The massive blue human face faded from view as the last of the crew's strength ebbed away. Jiho slumped in his captain's chair, utterly exhausted but unable to hide his smile. Around him, the bridge crew watched their tactical displays in amazement. They're actually retreating, Minho whispered, as if speaking too loudly might change what was happening. All remaining Xkathari vessels are moving away from Saturn. Sumin checked her console. Confirmed. Their engines are at maximum power. They're heading straight for the edge of the solar system. A weak cheer rose from the crew, quickly followed by sighs of relief and a few tears. For 3 days they had fought against impossible odds using technology they barely understood, and pushing their minds and bodies to the breaking point. Now, somehow, they had won. Set course for Earth, Jiho ordered, his voice hoarse. Let's go home. As the Dauntless limped away from Saturn's rings on the Xkathari command ship, High Commander Vextool made his final decision. This system is cursed, he told his remaining officers. The humans possess powers we cannot match. We will find easier conquests elsewhere. One brave officer spoke up. But Commander, what do we tell the High Council? We've never failed before. Vextool's 4 eyes narrowed. We tell them the truth, that humans are not to be underestimated, that they can join their minds with machines in ways we cannot, that they become something more. 3 weeks later, the Dauntless docked at Earth Orbital Station 1. The crew emerged to a hero's welcome. Millions watched from screens around the world as Jiho and his officers received the highest honors from the United Earth government. You saved not just our planet but all of humanity, said President Minseo Kwan during the ceremony. You showed that one ship, with the right crew and the right technology, can overcome any threat. The celebrations lasted for days. But in private meetings, the truth was more sobering. The Phoenix system nearly killed us, Jiho explained to military leaders. Even with young me's neural stabilizers, we could only use it for short periods, and the ex-Cathari will eventually realize that. Then we need more ships with the Phoenix technology, Defense Minister Choi replied, and more crews trained to use it. Hyun shook her head. The neural link requires special compatibility. Only about 1 in 20 people can connect properly, and even fewer can withstand the strain for combat situations. Then we find those people, the minister insisted, and we build our fleet before the aliens return. 6 months passed. Jiho stood in the observation lounge of the newly constructed Phoenix Station, watching as 5 ships similar to the Dauntless performed maneuvers. Each carried a crew specially selected for neural compatibility. Each represented humanity's determination to never again be at the mercy of alien invaders. Sumin joined him by the window. The new captains still have much to learn, she remarked. Jiho nodded. They'll learn. We all did. Do you think the ex-Cathari will come back? Not soon, Jiho said. But eventually, perhaps. Though I doubt they'll come alone next time. He was right. Across the galaxy, the story of the human ship that defeated an armada spread from world to world. The ex-Cathari once feared conquerors became cautionary tales. Species that had hidden from them for generations now whispered new stories. About Earth, about humans, about the terrifying ship that could change shape and read minds. On distant planets, governments established buffer zones around human space. Trade routes were redrawn to avoid the solar system. Some brave merchants ventured to Earth anyway, eager to establish relations with this powerful new species. 1 year after the battle, Jiho visited a memorial built for those who had died during the brief conflict. As he placed flowers beneath the names, an aide approached with news. Captain Park, Deep Space Telemetry has detected unusual activity at the edge of the Kuiper Belt. Multiple ships of unknown design. Jiho looked up at the stars visible through the memorial's glass dome. Hostile? Unknown, sir. But they're broadcasting a message in 17 different languages. They want to talk. Jiho smiled slightly. Then we'll talk, and if necessary, we'll fight. But they'll never underestimate us again. The legacy of the Dauntless had changed humanity's place in the galaxy forever. They were no longer just another species waiting to be conquered. They were the ones who had sent the mighty ex-Cathari fleeing in terror. They were the ones with the power to make stars dance and minds join with machines. They were human. And that, the galaxy was learning, was something extraordinary.